Ladies and gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for, it is now time to travel into the future with RuneScape 2014. And here to lead you on that journey of discovery, give it up, make some noise, treat him nicely, it's Mod Mark.
Hello? How you all doing, all right? And how's RuneFest been so far for everyone? Good? Wow, that's a bit disappointing. I thought it was going to be a bit more awesome than that. Like, are you all a bit tired? Have you all been talking too much, giving too many suggestions? Let's have a little bit more noise. Let's start from the back. Give me a whoop from the back. And somewhere in the middle, give me a whoop from the middle. Oh, the back was much better than you were, I'm sorry. And the front, I've left you till last because I know you're going to be the best. Give me a whoop from the front. That definitely was the best, that one. So, you know me, I'm Mark, and I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes talking a little bit about the content that we've got planned for the next 18 months. So there's a little bit of content from the rest of this year, next year, and maybe a little bit from the next one. Obviously, we always try our hardest to get as much content as we can do to you, as fast as we can, but decent development and decent design takes time and effort. And I know from the conversations that I've been having with a lot of you today, you can really see the difference. You can really see the quality of the craft that we've been putting into the game recently. So, I'm going to start with the most commonly asked question. Certainly the most commonly asked question from the event and most commonly asked question from the game. And that is, of course, what is the new skill that you're working on? So, first time announcement. The new skill is called the Inventor skill. Now with the Inventor skill, it'll be the second skill and partner with the Divination skill, but it's a technological revolution in RuneScape. It takes the divine energies of Gothics and it wraps them up in new and exciting ways by combining with the technologies that already exist in the game, like dwarven engineering or elemental workshops or goblin electricity or even the little clockwork things that you make in your player-owned house. Now, this will allow you to create weapons and new objects, new devices, all sorts of different things. This is man's new defense against the gods. It will allow us to stand up against the threat of the gods and, perhaps, give us the opportunity to take them out ourselves. The godless, which is a race a lot of you were talking about today, they're a little bit weak at the moment in the game. A lot of you were talking about the fact that you really like them and you like what they represent, but they're just not really tasty enough. Well, with the Inventor skill, you'll be able to arm and equip these guys. Now, that's something we're planning in the distant future, but you'll be able to make them tasty. You'll be able to give them the ability to stand up and fight with you against the oncoming threats. So, right. Teasers within teasers there. Okay, so what you can see here is the first of our kind of contraptions that we're thinking about. Think about it like one of the divine locations that you put down in the game, where everyone around you can sort of, harvest and take things from the location that you've put down. But this is going to be more like, a big contraption where you can chuck all sorts of raw materials in the top of it and stuff will come out. A kind of support skill for all of your production skills. So you'll be able to sit in the bank or do the kind of things that you're doing while your little machine is whirring away. It's, like I say, it's a support skill for your production skills. So it can smith, it can construct, it can craft, those kind of things. Now, occasionally, when you're playing around with the Inventor skill, because basically you're inventing things, different things can happen. You're kind of experimenting, playing around with the content that's in front of you. So occasionally something odd can happen. And as a kind of idea of the kind of odd things that might happen, I'm going to to show you a screen now of the kind of ideas that we're mulling around regarding level 90 two-handed swords. Now that's not just two-handed swords. Now as you can see there's a really weird kind of mage item on the side there, and it's actually built out of all the different like magical items and magical weapons that you can see in the game. The object in the middle there, you can see elements of dragon swords and various different things. If you take a while and look at it, I'd be really interested if you can spot all the different things that are on the slide. On the far right there, we've got a repeating crossbow. Now this is a crossbow that's kind of grafted on a big central cylinder. It's got lots of different crossbows, all the different crossbows that you might use in the game. There's even a weird kind of shield bow slapped at the front. Like I say, this is just a kind of something to kind of whet your appetite, something to get you thinking that crazy things can happen with the Inventor skill. Now, I'm going to talk a lot more about weapons later, because this is just the beginning of the kind of crazy ideas that we've got with the way that your weapons can evolve and actually level up themselves. But I'm going to talk a bit more about that later. So while you're playing around with Inventor, you could be doing stuff like playing around with pyrotechnics, with lightning conductors, with explosives. Think about it a bit like the idea of a medieval alchemist or a Greek philosopher like Archimedes, who is manipulating the raw energies in front of them. You're experimenting. But while you're experimenting, you can find rare plans. And you earn inspiration. And inspiration's kind of like a non-tradable resource or coin. And then you can spend that inspiration on making items of wonder. Marvelous things, eccentric things, experimental things. You're going to be, all the players will be at the front of this charge. So you'll be leading the charge into this new technological age. It's about self-advancement. It's about self-sufficiency. But of course, you're going to be playing around with the raw energies that Guthix left behind. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like that, a lot of the NPCs in the game. I mean, just think about the way the Fremenniks feel about the way you use runes. So a lot of people aren't going to like the way that you're kind of, it's sacrilege. You're mutating the energies in a way that weren't defined, or perhaps they were. So we'll have large workshops. And in these workshops, you'll have a really kind of social vibe. And you'll be kind of experimenting all at the same time. With a lot of the Inventor skill, you'll be able to invent new items for your pocket slot and also create new combat enhancements. We've decided that we're going to make it a relatively slow skill. So kind of different from a lot of the other skills that we've worked on recently, but it's going to contain some buyable elements for the mega rich amongst you to make some shortcuts if that's what you want. And I know we've got some really, really GP rich players in the audience. Another key thing is the level up my X feature, which I've talked a long time about. And this is the idea that items can be leveled up themselves. They can gain levels, they can gain traits, they can gain enhancements. Now we want to start with weapons, but ultimately we'd like to apply this to things like your tools that you use while you're skilling, so your pickaxes, or different tools, or even slayer creatures, well, not slayer creatures, summoning creatures. So the next slide, so this is a soul eater. So this weapon is fueled specifically by eating souls. It has a personality. It's dark. It's mysterious. It's motivating you to go and kill different targets, almost like a Slayer assignment, but far more dark and dangerous. It's integral to the Inventor skill. And we've got all sorts of different ideas that we could have. Imagine the kind of personality that a sword like this has. It could even be voiced and start actually talking to you as you're playing the game. A mysterious voice coming across your audio. We've got lots of different ideas along this line. And I could talk for hours just about the Inventor skill, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave you with a few ideas. So what about something like a lightning sword, or clockwork shields, or items that can gain levels and be better at fighting certain monsters, or items that get better because you use them in certain ways. So even an item that develops a relationship with another item, like a sword and a shield that work well together. Those kind of crazy ideas, those are the kind of things that we're thinking about with Level Up My X. Now, the Inventor skill, one of the most important things, is about experimentation, but it's also about creating unique equipment. So equipment that changes as you're using it, but also equipment that changes because of the way that you've made it. So each piece of equipment is unique. It's got your name on it. If you examine it, it says, this person was invented by Rusted, or whatever your name is. All sorts of different things. So you can have your personal stamp on the game. That uniqueness is yours, and you can sell those items, and so other people can run around and say that they've got a weapon made by you. More made by you, and that's exactly what we've been talking about all year. So the next thing I want to talk about. So there's a reason why I got these God swords made. I don't know if those of you saw me walking around with them. A lot of people were quite jealous because I was dual wielding them as I was walking along the line. Like big Armadillo God swords and big Bandos God swords. And there's a reason why Armadillo and Bandos are important to us right now. It's because they're the gods that are going to feature in World Event 2. The fights between Bandos and Armadillo, now some of you have probably seen this concept art already. We're really proud of it. Armadillo is a god who's always believed in peace. He always thought that he could get his way by negotiating with the gods, by bargaining with them. But he's been tricked far too many times. This time he's come back like a phoenix from the ashes, rising up and determined to destroy the gods who don't want to make a world of peace. It's quite strange. He's kind of caught in this turmoil. He wants everyone to just get along, but he knows he has to kill certain people to get them out of the way. One of the people he really wants to kill is Bandos. Now, Bandos is all about war. He's fueled by war. The way he works, he intimidates the races that he takes under his massive, massive arms. He's nasty. Lots of people think he's nasty, but ultimately, he considers himself to be the most honest of all the gods. All of the gods pretend that they're not interested in power. They try and pretend that they don't believe that the most powerful creatures should rule. And he fundamentally believes that. It's a simple rule: join him or die. He hates Armadillo. Armadillo is the epitome of everything that he despises, the deceit that the gods go through. He claims to believe in peace, yet now he's fighting. He's always the first to enter the battlefield, yet he pretends everything is, all flowers and bells. He really wants to destroy Armadillo. Now, at the end of this world event, there won't be any teleports to get people out of the way when the final blow comes in. They're going to be building massive towers, and on these towers are huge weapons of destruction that are pointed at each other. Weapons that use the energies of Guthix to totally annihilate the other. This battle will end with death. So the choice that you take, that god will die. There won't be any getting out of it. It will end for that god. So here's a shot of Armadillo on top of his tower. This is just outside of Falador. And the world events work because they'll have caravans that move around in the worlds below them. They're traveling to different node points, gathering the energies that Guthix left behind. If your caravan has left, then you'll want to defend that caravan. You want to heal up the bodyguards that are there. You want to look after the caravan. You can build towers yourself, great big defensive towers that protect your caravan as it moves along. This is Bandos sat on top of his tower. When a caravan moves along and you don't like it and you want to attack it, you'll be able to attack your opponent's caravan. You'll be able to build offensive towers to slow down the progress of your opponents. Now, quite a big thing that we're experimenting with right now is to make PvP optional within the battles. Now, a lot of you talked to us about World Event 1, and you said, yeah, this is kind of fun, but I've got these guys on the opposite side, they've got things above their heads. It's kind of frustrating that I can't just stab them in the face. And I totally understand that. So we're going to let you do it this time. This will be an optional thing. You can raise your flag. Of course, when you're engaging with these caravans, you'll be running around and collecting the energy yourself. You'll be doing different things to support what your caravan is doing. But if you want, you can pick up your sword and run someone through. And we'll be motivating people to do that if they want. You'll also be able to use wands or rods to debilitate your opponents, to stun them, to slow them down, to muck about with them. It's a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more confrontational. And it's going to end with the death of one of these gods. You'll also be able to build golems. Now, what you can see down here are golems of Armadil. You'll be able to build these things and then walk around the caravans, doing their own thing, getting nasty. And they're quite fun to build too, and really quite interesting. It's a different kind of idea, the kind of thing we haven't really done before. So now on to World Event 3. So we always planned with our world events that we'd be using the biggest, the tastiest, the nastiest of gods, our higher tier gods. But you kind of screamed out to us on the forums. You're like, what about those other gods? What about the smaller gods? You know, the ones that are a little bit more fun. Why aren't they involved with these world events? What's going on? A lot of you talked about missing presumed death, and you're like, well, where's this guy? Where's that guy? What's going on? So we kind of listened to what you were saying, and we're saying, do you know what? If the players really want this, we should totally give it to them. This is the year of the player. It's what they're asking for. That's what we should do. So World Event 3 is going to be a little bit different. And the first time we thought about it, we thought it might look something like, oh, no. Oh, dear. This is a video of a Bandos caravan. Just move back a bit. This is one of the caravans as he's kind of moving around. You can see a goblin on his back. These are the caravans as they move around. These are the kind of animations that we're playing around with at the moment. Oh, and we're going to see it again. Awesome. Can anyone guess what that is? Yeah, it's a Bandos caravan. Well done. Prize to you. Right, so there's Marimbo versus Brassica Prime. So like I say, you told us in your thousands that this was the kind of thing that you wanted to see. You wanted to see your cabbage god getting up and fighting for what was right. You wanted to see Marimbo hulking around the battlefield and getting dirty. But you know what? We looked at that and we're like, that's not quite right. They're a bit more fun than that. They probably want to have a party or something like that, or play a kind of crazy game with each other. So we thought about the mechanics that we might be able to introduce to you, and we wanted to be something more like that. So it's a kind of crazy mini-game. It's something we want to add to the game and leave a permanent effect on the game world, not by leaving a massive crater behind, but by leaving something fun and amusing behind, because I think that's the kind of mark that those gods would want to leave on the world. Okay. So the next thing. Now, loads of you have come up to me today talking about reworks to old content. You love the fact that we're doing new stuff all the time, but it's sad that some of that old content gets a bit old and a bit tired. You've really come up to me to talk about mini-games. And a couple of you, we spent a long time talking about mini-games and different things that mini-games could do. So we want, at the beginning of the next year, perhaps sooner, to run more guaranteed content polls. We want to put the mini-games in front of you and ask you which ones you want to rewrite. We've had lots of players that come into the office recently, and it's interesting the different opinions that different people have about different mini-games. I mean, just to have a kind of crazy raising of hands right now. You know, someone shout a mini-game out to me that they really would like to be reworked. There we go. So that's pretty crazy, right? All sorts of people with different opinions, right? And even people talking about gnome balls still. You know, it's crazy. Lots of different things out there. We had a long talk. You know, some of us, we really love mobilizing armies, and we were fighting on the high scores for a long time. But for a lot of people, that's just not the kind of game that they want to get involved with. But they want to play with their clan mates. They want to do different things with those mini-games. So you're going to choose which ones we rework, and we'll do it. You get to pick the order that we do them in, and we'll do that. And we'll do it via a bunch of different guaranteed content polls or different mechanics that we're still working on, so you can vote on what we do and when we do it. The thing at the bottom there is particularly interesting to me, and that's the idea of matchmaking systems. So one of the most frustrating things about minigames is the waiting. You go along to a minigame, you want to wait for your buddies, you want to wait for the right amount of people to turn up. Then you start your minigame and it's full of noobs who don't know what they're doing. And you feel like you're wasting your time. And you don't get to do all the funky things like your power running of dungeons or all sorts of different things that you're always going to do. It's kind of annoying and you feel like, well, I probably would have been better off skilling with what I was doing before. So we want to bring you a matchmaking system. So imagine an interface that you could access from anywhere in the game world, where you could choose the mini games that you want to play, who you want to play them with. Maybe you want to play with your clans. Maybe you want to have kind of unique fights just for you and certain mates. And you'll be able to define exactly what you wanted, and then just click a button and wait. Get on with what you're doing. And then when that game comes up, the game that you've defined, a little window will open. It just says, do you want to go and play that game? And you'll press the button, and you'll be there. I know it sounds kind of simple, right? But it's something that will really revolutionize the minigame content that we've got in the game. If you're not hanging around and waiting, and you're not wasting precious XP time, then all you need to do is worry about the fun. And that's a lot more awesome, as far as I'm concerned. There's other stuff we want to do too. So the barrows that we've been looking at recently, the barrows that a lot of you have got to play with today, now they're really kind of, that's something beyond just a rework. It's not a rework, it's a new experience. I mean, really, we've just kind of slapped the Barrows tagline on it because we really like the Barrows brothers, and we know that you guys do too. You know, they've been enhanced by Slisk, they've been given all these new powers, and you'll be able to have a lot of fun with them later on in the month. But sometimes it's about the kind of things that you forget about. Something like the giant mole. He sat there down in Falador, and I know a lot of you love him. He's kind of weird little thing, does kind of odd stuff. We really want to rework him so he's more like my first boss monster. So it's something you can go and fight to really learn about the new combat system. Something which can teach people around sort of level 110 exactly how to use the modern game and how to fight those boss monsters. Because it really takes a lot of learning. And you tell us that all the time. We can't be all as skilled as someone like Dardan or, you know the kind of names. I don't have to mention them here. So we really want to do something with the giant mole, and that's the giant mole on the right-hand side of the screen there. We've got some water here somewhere. Right, there's some. So that's the giant mole there. He's pretty cool. Like I say, he's designed for people around about level 110, but we're going to put a hard mode in there as well. So it's something for you guys to really have fun with. He's going to do all sorts of different things. He's still going to do the kind of stuff he did before, where he's burrowing into the ground, and he's coming up in different chambers in an underground dungeon. But when he comes out, he'll be in different modes. He'll be able to do crazy stuff to you, like mud stuns, or summon mole minions, or go into a berserk mole mode, or use crazy dig attacks. He'll be able to do all sorts of different things that are particularly damaging in hard mode. There'll also be agility shortcuts all over this environment, so you can use skills like your agility to quickly negotiate between all the different chambers. And he's got some pretty tasty new rewards too. They're rewards that we've got as ideas from you, from the forums. Things like super growth potions, which work quite nicely with this whole theme, but things that you could use in your farming skill. This guy here is the Slayer boss, the Basilisk boss monster from the Smoking Kills dungeon. Now, it's kind of like a boss monster you just throw away. It's just something you kind of do once and you're done with it. We really would like to do something new and exciting with that kind of thing. And that really is just a piece of concept art at the moment. And actually, it's a piece of concept art we've had for some time. But we really want to get you to tell us what you want us to rework. Whether they're mini games, whether they're boss monsters, we really want to do stuff with you. So no talk would be complete without old school. Old school's really still very important to us. And it's really amazing the kind of relationship that the developers have built up with the community playing old school. It's even to the point where players are even designing some of the new things that they want to be added to the game, like the Kraken. Kraken is a mysterious monster from the deep, from the depths of the sea. They've also got some interesting ideas to do with white dragons, adding white dragons to the game. This isn't even something that exists in the main game. White dragons, white dragon hide, giving something for high-level crafters to do, something to fill some of the gaps in the missing levels in crafting. You'll also be able to do some crazy stuff like raise the dead. So I know a lot of you will, want to go and fight blue dragons or something like that, and there'll be like a queue waiting to kill them. It's not a lot of fun. So what if you could put some bones down and summon creatures yourself from those bones, kind of creating your own spawn points in a way. We're also looking at some new quests. We want to be able to explore some of the backstories of the characters that you might find around the game. Characters which have got their own stories but have kind of been forgotten about. And kind of write these quests to expand the forgotten backgrounds of these NPCs. I always liked the sandwich lady, and I was really chuffed to see someone dressed up as the sandwich lady. What made us so angry? What made us so obsessed with bread products? Where's this tray come from, and how does it get filled up? All sorts of crazy questions, and I know that the development team have got some awesome ideas for things that they want to do with NPCs. Right. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is player-owned ports 2. So this is, you can clap if you like, that's fine. So a few years ago, when I first talked about player-owned ports, a lot of you were like, what in the hell is he talking about? That doesn't sound very RuneScape. It's kind of a little bit weird. But loads of you told us this when we launched it. It was exactly the kind of thing that you were looking for. Things to keep you interested as a high-level player. Things to keep you coming back. Things that are kind of evolving in front of you. So we're really interested in expanding that. So we've got 2 new zones that we're introducing to the game, which are called the Loop and the Shield Islands. We'll also be introducing 3 new adventurers to the ports, each bringing a new skill. There's a cook, there's an architect, there's a hunter, and they'll be bringing their own voyages and their own rewards to the content. We're bringing in 2 new trade goods. There's 2 new resources. There's a bunch of new crew members like golems and merchants. There's huge numbers of new ship parts. I say huge, actually. That's 8. That's maybe not too huge. But that's quite a lot compared to what's already there. So like new rams, new rudders, new hulls. We're also introducing a new random event to player-owned ports. So something a lot funkier than Meg, because she's a bit odd. And it's going to be about a sea singer called Umi. But I don't want to tell you too much about that. And we've got new rewards with player-owned ports, 2, which include new weapons, like things like thrown weapons, new capes, and level 85 rings. It's quite cool. So now we come to my favourite bit of the presentation. So this is the biggie. This is one of the things that you've been waiting for, that we've been waiting for, something we're truly excited about. It's a new quest. It explores the idea of horror and isolation. It unlocks some of the secrets of RuneScape that you've always wanted to hear about. It explores the name that nobody dared whisper for many an age. Anyone guess what that might be? Yeah. No, it is indeed Zaros. So, you can't even see him much there. He's kind of disappeared in the shadows. This new quest will be called Fate of the Gods. And it's a master level to start with. It's got loads of unlocks, loads of things that you'll be able to access as updates after the quest. Things like new Slayer monsters, new divination targets, new unlocks with divination. Now, I know you're probably looking at that image and maybe you're a bit like me the first time you saw it and you're like, that's Zaros? I've been waiting for a long time for this. Okay, yeah, he might be the master of shadows. And okay, he's kind of looks a bit cool. He's got some purple flames going on. And yeah, it's a nice piece of artwork, but I was kind of hoping for something more. And the cool thing about this quest is Zaros wants you to bring him back to Gielinor. And to do that, he needs you to find him a body for him to inhabit. And throughout the quest, you'll be faced with different choices. And the choices that you make, the choices on whether you want to support Zaros, or rather that you're against Zaros, will change the kind of form that Zaros will take. If you work really hard, he might look something like this. Can you see? Can we kill the lights on the stage quickly? It's crazy, eh? It's kind of spooky that you can see him better when the lights go out, right? Now, to be fair, this was the first form that we saw Zaros in. You can leave the lights down if you like. Oh, now I can't read my notes. Hey, see, you're clever. Yeah. That's why you're in charge. So, in truth, this was the image that we started with. When we started the 6th age, we wanted to concept each and every one of our gods, the major players, the antagonists for the new age that we were about to start. And we talked to the graphics artists, and this is what they came back with. Something really cool. You can see the wound that Zamorak left behind. Really kind of crazy ideas, like kind of leaving shadows behind as he's walking around, or being able to talk from some kind of strange amulet on his chest. But these were kind of inspirations for us. And actually, the final form that you'll see from Zaros could be very different from this indeed. This was something that said to us, Jesus, Zaros is awesome. We need to give him proper respect. When we bring him back to the game, he has to land with a bang. And we really want to go all out with something like that. We want to be able to give you different things. We want to be able to make it as exciting as it can be. So like I say, lots of things have changed here. And as you do run through the quest, you'll be unlocking and choosing different options to change that form that it can finally take. So it will look very different to everybody. You'll also be able to find out Zaros' origin. What the hell's he been doing for all this age? What has he just been sort of wandering around lonely as a cloud on some kind of barren wasteland? Maybe some kind of crazy barren wasteland like RuneScape. So you'll actually be able to run around RuneScape for the first time yourself. It's a really quite cool idea. There's some mad, awesome artwork that I really wanted to show you, but we decided that we didn't want to because we wanted to leave all the best surprises for when you're actually playing through the content. But suffice to say, you'll be learning about dragon riders. You'll be learning a lot more about Zaros. You'll be learning a lot more about some of the other gods too, including the elder gods themselves. Now, a lot of you who went to the talk on lore earlier will have heard a little bit about the elder gods, and we've got some pretty funky stuff planned for this quest. So that's RuneScape. Okay, so now I'd like to talk a little about some more crazy ideas that we've got that are just kind of ideas in our heads right now. And this is the part where some of the developers start scratching their heads, because I like to keep surprises for everyone. There are only a few people that know about these ideas, and so if you hear some sort of head scratchings and people saying, I have no idea how the hell we're going to do that, it's probably the developers that are dotted around the room. But that's all part of the excitement, right? We're all here to make games, and it's nice to keep people on their toes. So, the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is the Valley of the Dead. So this is a kind of experimental idea. It kind of takes some of the principles that you know from things like the Hunger Games and wraps them up with RuneScape. What about a kind of short 20-minute PvP experience where you're in a new land, something you've never been to before? The resources and targets are kind of scattered all over the place. You use your skills to build up equipment, to get the food that you need. You run around, you're killing your targets, and last man standing wins. If you die, you're out. No coming back. And every time you come into this world, it's different every time you see it. Things have changed. Maybe sometimes it can be filled with poisonous plants or traps or things that are there to trip you up. This is an experiment for us in many ways. We want to start running these on our beta servers. And it's a technology we explored recently, and we really want to work with you on getting this right. This is a kind of community project. We want to build it in such a way that it's Twitch friendly. So you can film it, you can do funky things with it, you can show your subscribers the kind of cool things that you're up to. We want it to be different, but the most important thing is that we want to work with you on this. It needs to be a collaborative craft between the two of us. So you can tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we can change it as we go. This is an experiment. We want it to run on our beta servers, but if we get to a point and we think this is really tasty, we'll roll it into the main game, if that's what people want. And of course, give appropriate rewards when we do so. So the next idea is something that we started thinking about when we had some player visits back in August. Can people give me a shout out, the people who came to the office? Hello. Good. Few voices. So we've been talking about the idea of a skiller's boss. So this isn't a boss monster that you use with combat. This is a boss monster that you take down specifically by using your non-combat skills. This allows the skillers in the game to have the kind of action-packed excitement that is usually only saved for our combat players. We were kind of coming up with some interesting ideas. We want to aim the content at people who've got their skills over level 90. We want there to be skill-orientated rewards which are written for those players. And we want to offer cooperative and perhaps even solo gameplay in these experiences. And the kind of crazy idea that we came up with at the time was about snakes. Imagine like a nest of vipers, small snakes, a kind of squirming mass of flesh. They're all kind of nipping around in this nest, and you're slowly luring one or two of them out. You're using your fire-making skills to corral them in a hole. You're using your hunter skills to kind of, take them around to different environments. You're using your mining skills to create massive rock falls to squash all the snakes below. Of course, you'll have to watch out, because wrapped around those snakes is a massive mother snake. And if you do the wrong thing, and if you catch her out, then she'll wake up, and you'll die. She'll eat you. You're skillers. You don't have many hit points at the end of the day, so you're not going to stand up to much. So the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is the rite of passage. So this is a quest that we're working on that explores the ideas of Armadil and the kind of backstories of Armadil. Even if he's died in the world event, there'll still be relevance of what's going on here. We want to do some funky things with him. There's a really kind of rich backstory for Armadil and the race that he represents, the Aviances. We want to explore how they died. We want to explore how Armadil became a god. And in this quest, it's a rite of passage, you're guiding a young Avianci through his trials to become an adult. And it explores all the things I just mentioned. And this is a kind of idea for the kind of gameplay that we're talking about, where it's like a kind of crazy hopscotch, where you're jumping between different islands, navigating around the time when you're doing it, exploring and taking on the challenges of that environment. Here's a kind of cool piece of concept art of what it might look like. It's pretty funky. So the next thing that we're working on, and you know all about this, is about competition and aspirations for high-level players. Now, a little while ago, we put the prestige system in front of you. It was something that we were quite excited by, and ultimately, it's all about giving you new targets to aim for. A lot of you in the room have already got 99s. I mean, I saw 40 people downstairs getting 99s in front of us. Someone even getting 24 99s all at the same time. It'd be nice to come up with new ways of motivating that kind of player, motivating them to want to play the game. And we're not quite sure what the answer is. We put the prestige system in front of you. You didn't think it was quite right. It was wrong for various different reasons. And there's lots of people with different opinions on this subject. But I think most of us can agree that it would be good to have something else to aim for than just 25 mil or 50 mil or 100 mil or 200 mil. Well, that was weird. So, that's really put me off. So we really want to do these things. So the first thing we're going to be doing is bringing in new seasonal high scores for skills. So a lot of you have seen the kind of smaller seasonal content that we've been adding. The kind of, the targets, kill loads of imps or various different things. And in fact, I know Zazima's busy right now slaughtering Ziliana for the many thousandth time. We want to be able to add them for skills, though. We want to be able to say, well, who is the best woodcutter this month? Who's the best woodcutter in this period of time? And you'll be able to compete with each other on that level. We also want to introduce regional high scores so that you can compete with the people that are in your country or, those kind of things. So you've got different levels of competition. And we know that there's got to be something else on top of that as well. But we want to work with you to work out what that is. Lots of different ideas floating around. Keep an eye on the forums and on our news posts, and we'll develop those ideas with you in the coming months. Okay, so last slide now. This is a really wacky idea. When I talked to you about player-owned ports in the last RuneFest, it was different. It was kind of something that we weren't really expecting. And this is what that is. It's actually come from one of the developer that's actually working on the Zaros content, came up with this idea, and we really want to kind of play around with it. It's kind of weird, right? That in the game, you're kind of running around to these hero guilds, and you're running around to legends guilds, and you hear about what these guys have done. But actually, there's no one in the game which has done more than you. You're the hero. Who's done more? You've saved the world countless times. You've saved more innocents than Batman. You're a world guardian. You've been granted the powers that no one else has got. You're amazing, heroic creatures. Why aren't there guilds about you? Why aren't there people worshipping you? Why don't you have a little fan club, or many of you do? Why don't you have a bunch of NPCs that are following you around, building statues about you, singing songs about you, all sorts of stuff like that? You've watched gods die in front of you. You can forget these heroes and legends of old. You're the greatest hero of all time. So what I would like to give you is the Church of You. So you'd have statues, you'd have fans, you'll have followers. A bit like Throne of Miscellanea, these followers could generate things for you. They could do things for you. But the content would change every week. You'd attract new people. Not every week, every month, who knows? This is just an idea in my head right now. The content could change. Different people would come to your church. They'd have different objectives. And it'd be up to you to decide how to help them with their problems. And you could help them or you couldn't help them. You could boot them out. You could tell them they're no good. Maybe you're not interested in the kind of things that they want to do. You can build a relationship with these NPCs, and they have a relationship with each other. And everyone's church should be different as different things happened in your church. This is a crazy thought, but imagine your favorite soap opera mixed with Darwin's theories of evolution and the kind of concepts of the survival of the fittest, mixed with some kind of weird village church. It's kind of a bit weird. But you're the guy in charge, and these people worship you. And don't forget, you're the heroes. You deserve to be worshipped. And you should get the benefits of being a celebrity, because in the game you are a celebrity. You deserve to be worshipped. And that's what I'd like to do now. I'd like to worship you. Because you're awesome. And without you guys, we wouldn't get to do the cool things that we do. I kind of think that you're the guys that are in charge. You're the guys that deserve the worship. And genuinely, I want to get down on my knees. I want to make a personal promise to you now. I want to promise you that we can make the amazing relationship that we've cultivated over these years even better. And we want to give you more control over what we do. This really is a game for all of us. absolutely everyone. And we want everyone to be able to have a say on how we do things. This game would be nothing if it wasn't for you. And the community grows every single day because of your efforts. Thank you very much. Now, just before you clap, I'm really interested to talk to you about the kind of things that I've been talking about now. We'll be in the party later. If you want to log in game, I've got a friends chat. It's called Wooters. We've got some Wooters out there. All right, a few voices there. I try to log in every day when I can, around 6 o'clock, 6:30, every single day. And I want to listen to the kind of feedback that you have. So please log into the game. Do try and be nice. Trolls can be fun and everything, but it's really good when it's all about your feedback. And I want to be a sponge. I want to listen to what you've said, and I want to be able to give those wise words of wisdoms to the rest of the team. We really want to work with you, not against you. It's all of our games. Thanks very much for listening.
Lee, what did you make of all that?
Wow, so we just had a lot of content revealed. We just learned about the new skill, the second skill that's supposed to be released this year, but will be released in 2014. It's the Inventor skill, so it ties in with divination. We just learned a lot about all of these Zaros coming back quest, and there's a lot of things coming, so I'm really excited to start playing in 2014.
Let's do something we've not done before. Let's do 5 points that you are excited about and people should be excited about from what we've just heard.
Okay, first point, Inventor skill. Definitely the second skill. I'm always excited about skills, being a completionist cape owner, so I love new skills. The Zaros quest, having Zaros back in the game or just appearing in the game, he's gonna have a body. He looks really, really cool. He has got shadows trailing behind him and stuff, so that's really awesome. That's 2. 3, this Church of You thing. It's a total curveball. No one heard about it or anything like that.
Sounds
so the
cool.
Church of You is cool. You're the hero, so that's a good point right there. The 4th point, I would say it's a kind of a tag along with the Inventor skill that you can combine your weapons and make these kind of super weapons or soul weapons. I kind of like that a lot. And the 5th point, I would have to say, the player-owned ports V2, definitely something close to my heart. I like the player-owned ports. I didn't like it at first. I then really liked it, and now I'm really excited for the expansion to see the new resources and new areas. So yeah.
Fantastic. I loved your 5 points. They were very, very good.
Thank you.
Now, Matt Cuttle, our roving reporter, has been out to meet the makers of RuneScape, and he's made a little video about it, like he does. So this is that video. Sit back and enjoy.
Here at RuneFest, games actually get to chat to the mods and ask them any question they want in a formal Q&A known as Meet the Makers. And with James and Alicia, who've just been chatting to a mod. Guys, how's it been chatting to the mods and actually chatting to the people that made the game?
It's great. So you get to really connect with the mods and see that they have a passion for the game. They have played the game, they've joined the company, they make the game, they care about the game. And that's what really comes through when you get to talk to them, get to know them. They're ordinary people and they're really fun, like just to chat to,
So Alicia, what value did you get out of chatting to the mod? What questions were you asking?
Just basically the differences that the game has gone over the past couple of years. There's been a lot of updates and things have changing, so we're talking about kind of what it was like back in 2006, 2007, and then kind of the evolution it's gone through.
I'm here with mod Raskas, who's been meeting the gamers all day. RuneFest is obviously a massive opportunity to meet the people that play your game, so how have you found it?
Just amazing, really. It's great for us to see just to meet the faces behind the names, really. To us, it's just a name on the screen, but to actually see the people behind that is just a fantastic opportunity.
And not only do the gamers get value out of it, but you guys get value out of it as well, I guess, in terms of feedback for the game.
Yeah. In our team, the website team, we get a huge. We very rarely get feedback on the website. So being able to ask people, what do you think of the adventures log or the high scores, and having people say, I use the high scores every day and that sort of thing, it's just so valuable to us.
Niall and Adam, you've both had a chance to chat to a mod just now. How have you found it?
Yeah, they're certainly interested in what you've got to say. They want to know what you're thinking about, what they're developing, how your opinions can influence what's happening with the game.
RuneFest is not only a lot of fun, it's also a big melting pot of ideas, which we really like. So when these guys meet the makers, hopefully when the makers meet these guys, they can make a game that's even better than it already is.
Lovely. Classic Matt. What did you think?
I thought it was interesting. And just to revert back to before, a point I forgot was the skilling boss is also coming in, which is going to be awesome. So that's cool. But Matt, definitely having fun out there, interviewing players.
He's having a great time. Yeah. Now, earlier, we had a great time. We sat down with executive producer Phil Mansell, Mod Pips. We had a little chat. This is that chat. Mod Pips, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Please tell us a bit about yourself and your role.
So I'm RuneScape's executive producer. That means kind of involved in a bit of everything. I'm head of product, so I'm responsible for the product we put out and all the people that work on it. So yeah, I see a lot of stuff.
Well, what's the best part? What's the most rewarding part of your job?
It's probably at both ends of the scale. Seeing things and being part of deciding the features way off into the future, but also seeing stuff come together at the end and go through testing, be released, and get into the players' hands. Like seeing the journey of a project all the way through.
Okay, guys, really sorry. That video obviously wasn't very good. The quality was quite poor. We will try and sort it out and get it to you soon. Also, it's 10 to 6. It is very much still going on here at RuneFest 3. So if you hear some background noise, it's because the party is still very much going on. Isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm in this couch with you. You and I are on this couch the whole time. How do we know about the parties?
We're in England. It's a sofa, Lee. It's a sofa. We've now got some more guests. We've got Mods Osborne. There he is.
Hello.
Look.
Hello, how you
and
doing?
A player. We don't know who the player is, though. Introduce yourself, player.
Celebrity
and
player.
your baguette.
Yes, I'm Miss Liddles, but dressed as the sandwich lady.
And you've joined us too.
We're random guys.
It's a free roll.
I mean,
Joined in.
are you supposed to be here?
I don't know, I was just told to come here.
No, you're not lost looking for the toilet or something.
I was going to the toilet and suddenly I'm in a live stream.
Very, very nice to have you.
Thank
probably.
you.
Mods Osborne, tell us all about yourself.
So I'm senior narrative designer, so that's kind of, I've got to oversee all of the stories, make sure that like 12 years worth of content doesn't contradict each other and, you know, got to understand it all. It's crazy, so much work. It's
pretty exciting.
So much stuff there.
Yeah.
But also kind of like all the quests we do. Going to have some oversight on them and make sure the quality is improving all the time. So I get to oversee the Sixth Age, which is this big god stomping around the world storyline that we've got going on at the moment. And yeah, I've been kind of talking about it on the stage a lot today.
Amazing. Are you having a good RuneFest?
I am. I'm hoping people aren't sick of the face of me at the moment. I've been everywhere. So I've done 3 main stages, doing comparing stuff and kind of reading stuff about the elves. Also done a little kind of side stage bit as well. I've done a bit of Meet the Makers. So I've been everywhere. I've been researching cloning as a possibility so that I can actually be at more places. It would be really useful.
Earn a bit more bucks.
Yeah, I'm sure cloning could have something on the side for me, I think.
Bucks is dollars.
I know that. That's our term. You took that from us.
No.
Americans.
Classic.
We're great.
Classic transatlantic humour. Yeah, love it.
But yeah, so I've even had a text from my mum saying that she's been watching. She said it's high quality. She said that, you know, I've been doing well. So, you know, what
she's watching you on the live stream?
I probably.
Yeah.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Mum. I've not had a text from my mum. My dad texted me to tell me that Manchester United were winning. So that was nice.
I actually did send her a Christmas list to me at the same time, though. So you're doing well at RuneFest. Here's my Christmas list.
The 2nd of November.
Yeah, it's how our family rolls. It's very strange.
It is strange.
I know.
It's not okay.
Lots of wool, it turns out. A little insight. If you want to buy some presents for my mum.
Sure. I always do.
I'll be right back.
I always do. Not wool, you always do that. Messed up my words again there, didn't I? Yeah.
Go on, recover.
Aren't I silly? Right, let's carry on. Guys, you play. Tell us all about it.
I've actually been playing since Classic. Very much a veteran player. I also do videos, Miss Liddles, Lydia T30. And yeah, how long have you been playing Patrick?
Very nice little plug. Do you want to do it again in case anybody missed it?
I've been playing since 2003. I do make videos, but they're quite low quality and like not massive output. They're RS3PKing, so like no one watches them.
Oh. So what's been the highlight for you today?
That's what I'm saying.
Meeting everyone. I mean, there's so many people that I've spoken to online in RuneScape and now have a face to the person. It's amazing. I think just meeting everyone and
I finally met you from YouTube video making,
Yeah.
so that's cool. And you look great in Sandwich Lady.
We
I
haven't
wish you
even
had donuts.
introduced.
I know. I'm Lee.
Hey, Lee,
I
keep it
know.
professional, yeah?
I'm
Cracking on. Yeah?
I was giving one critique. If you brought donuts, that would have been better. I like donuts more than
I got your
baguettes.
Twitter
Sure you
message,
did.
yeah.
I just tried baguettes for the first time today, and I like donuts more still.
Focus on the
sorry.
bread with the hole in the middle. Yeah, stay professional, Lee.
You're the
Got a
one,
job
you're the
to
one
do.
going in the gutter right now.
We've got a job to do. Okay. What's been your highlight, Mod Osborne? Keep
What's
it
been
clean.
my
Come on.
highlight? Oh, that's really difficult. That is really difficult. I would say.
I've turned into a pirate.
Was that a pirate quest?
I think it was a pirate.
I think it was a pirate quest.
It's an
lead right
important
there.
question.
Exclusive.
It needs a well thought out answer, I thought. So my highlight for me, we were on a small stage and we actually got we grouped up two groups of people, and we asked them to come up with ideas for things to go in the game. One of them was an agility mini game, another one was a divination D&D, and what they came up with was probably better than anything our designers could come up.
Wow.
Not like it was top
Shots
quality
fired.
stuff. It was great stuff. And it just shows that the ideas from you guys is just fantastic. We've got like 15 people on each team coming up with something. And bang on, it could go into the game straight away. So I'm going to go home, write up some core aims, and see if we can get them in game. They were really that good, and that chuffed me.
Now here's a question. How did you end up being the compare? How come you were on so many stages?
It's,
Everybody wants a piece of the Osborne.
yeah, I'm not a shrinking violet like the other guys. They joke that I'm the FOR, the face of RuneScape. I think it's the surface area of the face. It is quite a big face. But I'm also willing to talk, and
Soft face.
Some people
got
soft
soft
face.
It's gotten awkward.
That's a nice face.
Okay, well.
Yes, but I'm really happy to get up and talk about RuneScape. I mean, I'm really passionate about it. I think it's a cracking game. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys came up, you came over.
A few months ago,
Yeah, to
and
Jagex. And
I let you talk for like an hour and I listened.
When
It's
you're on about the
amazing.
lore, you're on a roll. But
Oh.
that's awesome. Seeing the passion is amazing.
yeah, they kind of wound
It's
me up
very
and I just went for it.
infectious, like-
Yeah, it's meant to be a Q&A session, but obviously there wasn't
talk.
much
No,
of
but just
the,
answer.
there wasn't much of the Q or the A. It was just, just the face.
There you go.
Okay. But it went really well. Yeah, that's my highlight.
Mod Osborne, officially the face of RuneScape. Is that, I think that's fair.
It's a
to
battle
say.
between Mark and
There are
Osborne and
others.
MMG.
Yeah. Mod Ollie's the guns of RuneScape. If you didn't know
guns?
that, the guns of
Oh,
RuneScape.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen
I
them.
don't know.
well sculpted.
Voltaire flexed before on a video, and that was pretty
He's a beast.
compelling
He's a
right
closet
there.
beast. Voltaire's the voice of RuneScape. Definitely is the
With the
voice.
deep
He's
voice,
got
of
to
course.
be.
Absolutely.
I can't think of what Mark is. He's the kind of laughing belly of RuneScape. That's how I see it, I think.
All right.
But yeah, you get the idea.
Fair enough.
So we're building a hideous
And MMG
Frankenstein's
is the tank of
monster.
RuneScape. He's the force of RuneScape.
Yeah, you've got it. So you've got to position yourself. You've got to decide what you are.
Tintin.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want to be Tintin, man. No.
That's not a body part. You need to be the snow. and follow
Maybe
them.
the social media face. Maybe the social media face. That'd be good.
The social media face of RuneScape.
That'd be good.
Tintin. Detective?
Detective.
Do you need a, well, he's a detective, isn't it? No, he's a journalist.
He's a journalist.
Yeah.
I
Social
didn't- I
media,
didn't-
that's kind of a form of
That's
journalism.
actually not a cartoon in America.
What, Tintin?
Yeah.
And that's another reason why England wins. Chalk that up. Suck it, America. I'm only joking if you're watching America. Like
They're
you're
going to turn
really
off all the
upset
viewership.
with me.
The reason why the American viewers stop watching the live stream. Sam, thank you very much.
Really sorry, man. I like you really. I went to Los Angeles once, had a lovely time.
Good.
Had a lovely time.
Come to New
Everyone
York
was
next
very
time.
friendly.
Come to New York. Show you around.
Sure, let's do it. You can buy my flight. Now, what we just saw a minute ago in the last session was very, very exciting.
It is, and it was. The thing is, as a designer, what's interesting about Mod Mark's talk is often you don't know what he's going to say. And so you turn up just to find out what projects you're going to work on. So I was there by the side, just kind of going, oh, right, so that'll be what I'm doing. Just kind of, and that's really exciting. I like that about Mike. You know, he's got some big ideas. And I think we had a crazy hit rate from the last RuneFest. Like, he talked about 12 things and 11 of them got into the game. So, you know, I think these are going to happen. And so one of the things was a Zaros quest that he was talking about. And I'm really excited about that. I've been working with Mod Roley on that for a long period of time. It was called the World Gate quest. And that was in my first talk at 12 o'clock. Mod Mark just went, yeah, I'm having that. Okay. Yeah, he's going to take it. And
Moving
he's
on
took it.
to the next talk, in just a few moments, we will have the Golden Gnome Awards, which is going to kick off with the opening of a massive cracker. Could you explain?
I don't know a lot about that. I know that we are going for a Guinness World Record.
Yeah, that's what we are.
It's a
Most
cracker.
cracker pulls, I think. That's
But why a giant cracker then? You see, that's the
Nice,
question.
isn't it? It's nice. Everything big is nice.
Yeah, so what I want to know is if Mod
Like
MMG is
food.
going to come out of that cracker.
Yeah.
Like, get your mind out of the gutter, man. I thought we were talking about professionalism.
Her face, falling apart. Right, what are the categories for the Golden Awards?
You've asked me some cracking questions here.
Wait!
Cracker pun. Cracker pun.
You don't realise it was cracker pun?
Cracker pun.
I thought you did it by accident.
Professional cracker pun.
Oh, that fizzled.
What have I done? I've got to apologise to my mum who was watching. Yeah, so there's going to be a number of awards.
Yeah, 15, I believe.
15 of them.
That's right,
I
yeah.
don't know all of them, so please don't, hold me to
That's
this.
disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
thought he was going to come and just rifle them all off.
Gun him out.
So have you entered?
I guess next time. Right, come on. What are the awards?
So go on. You haven't entered any?
No, I
Right.
ran out of time with the video Golden Gnome.
So video.
I went on
Let's play
holiday
art.
instead. I really wanted to enter. I was about halfway done, and I decided to go overseas.
There's a few different categories, video categories, live streaming categories. So there's just a bunch of different kind of categories for each segment. So
There is an award for best outfit, though, isn't there?
Best outfit.
But
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have to like?
Can you win that?
I don't know. Do I have to like?
Can you
fill
talk us
out a
through your
form
outfit?
and- Pardon?
Talk us through your outfit.
Well, I'm the sandwich lady. I made the dress, the apron, everything. This hat is actually.
You made that dress?
Yeah, I made it. I didn't even know how to sew, but I honestly
So
just
how
went
did you
for
make that
it.
dress?
I got a piece of sheet and I just started hacking and slashing at it, and then I didn't even measure myself,
the
and
crazy
then
hits you
it just
go.
happened.
We used to have a gnome in here, but it's gone to be awarded something now. But we think from the studio, you're the best dressed. Certainly the best dressed guest we've had. So you can have this key ring.
Oh, give me.
Key ring, look.
we just took it away from you, just like that. It's for you now.
You can have this. No.
Still in its packet, look. It's beautiful. I mean,
Pristine
a gnome
condition.
would have been nice too, but you can't tie gnomes to keys. So there you go, you can keep that.
Well, you could technically. They're small.
Tell you what, you've got a badge here too. Look at that.
15 people get
And
golden
the
gnomes.
pocket.
Get that on
There's
your
only
hat.
one of those.
Get on your hat. Instantly gave the key ring away.
I've got a pocket. That's
I didn't know how to make pockets, or else I was going to put one on my apron. So here's my pocket for the day.
carrying all
In terms of
Play
golden
your own
gnomes,
pocket. Right there.
I'm not a person, I'm just a pocket.
Here's my pocket.
That's the only
fine, I
reason
am,
I'm
everybody
here.
at home. Trying to get you some questions in. Talking amongst themselves, outrageous. Now, the golden gnomes. Have people flown in especially? Do some of the winners know who they are to convince them to get here, or is it going to be like the Oscars? We're going to get videos of people like,
Satellite link up.
thanks for my award, but I can't come in right now because I'm gardening for my grandfather.
We do have some.
There are some of those
video
videos.
Yes, people will see video
Brilliant.
submissions live from people. Who
So
won.
did you have to say to those people, look, you're going to win, please come? And they went, no, I'll do a little video.
Yeah, no, we pretty much suggested if they couldn't make the video, make a video so
Right.
we could present it. So people know who you are and what you.
They'll still get their gnome.
Yes.
But does
Don't worry,
everybody,
it's in the post.
does everybody else know? So they know they've won, right? Of the 15 winners, say there's 5 of them, for example, doing a video. Do the other 10 also know they've won, or are they going to be surprises because they're here?
I don't know for certain, actually. I don't know.
Do I know? No. You see, you're asking the best questions.
I hope it's a surprise. That'd make it even better.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know the
wanna see
people here
genuine
don't know.
tears.
So the people who won the award might have been briefed about it, but
Right.
I don't know.
You want to see that kind of Gwyneth Paltrow moment where they
Yeah.
burst into tears.
Right.
The rocks on, yeah,
The,
break
the,
down
whole,
on
tears.
the whole
stage.
fangirl fanning moments, like, oh
I
my
mean,
god.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a human to cry, but I think we can safely say we all want a lot of tears. Yeah. You know,
Tears
like
of
where your
bucket.
chest is
Tight
heaving
innards.
and your body is shaking because they're crying so much.
That dry racking kind of,
Yeah, I think
the
the
shivering.
golden gnome is worthy of tears, is it not?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
People cry over like soap operas and things.
Throw it hard enough.
Throw it hard enough. I see you
Is
throw
it
a golden
heavy?
gnome, you're
Is
losing
it-
your
is
key
it-
ring.
If we're throwing golden gnomes, we should get one on here so people could see it at least being thrown at someone.
We shouldn't be throwing a golden gnome lead. Always with the throwing of the gnomes. It's difficult having
like a
Craig
shot
here
put
trying to throw him.
Give a competition who can throw it
Yeah.
Dwarf tossing is not
Should have a
right.
gnome
No.
throwing
Gnome
competition.
tossing
No,
competition.
like shot put.
No shot.
Just
That could be a
throw the
mini
gnome
game.
and
Yeah,
just
like
go
a
for
goal.
the furthest
No,
thing.
right, no ball.
I feel like this is abuse to
Yeah.
gnomes.
Again, we're coming up with
Gnomes are
fantastic
annoying.
ideas that should go in.
Next
On the
time,
spot.
next time.
Yeah,
Gnomes
we'll
are
get
pain.
into it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to watch a little trailer now for the current version of RuneScape before we head over to the Golden Gnome Awards in a few minutes' time. So let's watch the video. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining me.
It's a
and
pleasure.
Lee, get your skates on because it's time for the Golden Gnome Awards.
I have to go present one.